right.
Hey, we're only 10 minutes late. That's good. That's good.
Welcome all to Hit or Miss. I'm your host, Night Strike, and yes, we are just a little bit late tonight, unfortunately. I was waiting for everybody to show up. That's all. That's my excuse. That's all I got. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But we got a couple topics to talk about tonight. We got some people that jumped into the panel. I'll go to the Brady Bunch mode so that we can see who we've got. Oh my God, we got people. All right. But let me just go through and see who we got out there on the live chat right now. Apparently Kingpin is pulling double duty. We got Ohio 45 ACP. DTEP 62 is out there. Tennessee Gun Guy is out there. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Hit or Miss. Travis, what's going on?
Not much, man. I just appreciate the invite this evening, and it's been a pretty busy week right now. Kind of a blur, to be honest with you, but I'm doing all right.
It has.
Yeah. Cheap plugs as usual. Check out my podcast, Caliber Corner, Monday nights at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock East Coast Time. We do a little gun chat every week. That's about it. We have a little bit of fun, and appreciate you guys being there, so thank you.
I don't know if anybody can tell, but I'm wearing the Shall Not Be Infringed t-shirt.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Are you wearing shorts with it?
Huh?
Are you wearing shorts with it?
I've got pants on.
Oh.
So I'm not porky picking. No. See, we're trying to keep it PG-13, PG. Yes. So we can't do that. No. Yeah. All right. Sarge, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? Appreciate the invite.
It's amazing you're actually here for once.
Well, I have a night off and don't have to get up early tomorrow, so why not?
All right. Next up, we've got Ian, Duke Liberty. What's going on, Ian?
Hey, not much. Thanks for the invite. Really appreciate it.
All right, no problem. And last but certainly not least, the man who's been sorely missed, David Bowling, Mr. Kingpin himself. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well. Thanks for having me. Good to be back with everybody.
No problem.
Right on,
Thanks for jumping in. All right, so the first topic we got tonight, let me change my, apparently my, is my video working properly? Yeah, I think so. I think it's working properly out there.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. First topic we got tonight, I want to go over just a quick recap on the video I did yesterday about Virginia. Okay? What happened in Virginia yesterday is they had the judiciary meeting, and the 4 Democrats turned on their party, and went with the Republicans on the committee to motion to postpone the assault weapons ban bill and suppressor ban bill, which is House Bill 961 in the Virginia government, till 2021. So that means they didn't floor it, they didn't shelve it. It's not been killed. They postponed going over it until next year. So keep on the lookout on that and keep fighting in Virginia because it's going to be an uphill battle. They just thought that they'd postpone it and hopefully that next year when they go over it again, people won't be looking. People won't be paying attention. I don't think that's going to happen, but again, you have to realize that they did this because they got enough pushback from the people. So keep the pressure on. If you're in Virginia, keep the pressure on. Call them, email them, snail mail, postcard, telegram, whatever you have to do, but let them know. All right. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you said that they turned on their party. Did they really turn on their party, or did they vote with their conscience and not worry about party lines? Did they vote for what they believed in and what their people that they represent believed in?
I don't know. They didn't go into detail with those 4 representatives.
I just mean a different way to look at it.
Yeah, well, I see that they turned against what the party's trying to do in Virginia with the governor. That's what I was saying. The governor's trying to get gun anti-gun bills in place now that he has a full Senate and House. And granted, there are still Republicans in the Senate and House. It's just the Democrats have the majority. So,
and this is what we've been talking about for a while. The Democratic Party has gone so far to the left that they're leaving behind a good portion of who had been moderate Democrats forever. They're leaving them behind.
Well, the problem is that the Democratic Party's paradigm, I'm going to say, has shifted so far left that the moderate Democrats are no different than normal conservative Republicans.
They were never all that far off up until the left really took it way left.
Yeah. So there you go on that.
The easiest way to tell on whether or not the Democrats that voted against it are people who, thirst for power and blood, but aren't really thirsty today, or whether they're just waiting until the election, is just look them up and see if they're up for election come next
Absolutely.
season.
Absolutely.
If they're not, if their seats are protected, then they're probably, maybe almost half decent people.
Almost. Let's see. There we go. All right. So the first topic we're going to talk about tonight is everyone's favorite candidate today. The man who bought himself a ticket to the Nevada primaries that's been going all over the news today. You've heard about him. He funds almost every anti-gun organization in the country. Michael Bloomberg. Apparently Everytown is backing away from Bloomberg, but they're still addicted to his money.
Quick fun fact about Michael Bloomberg. He's 76, I think. Mm-hmm. So until all 76 and a half years of his life, he made $54 billion. Since he's been running for president, he's made $10.6 billion. So it took him 76 years to make 54, and it took him, a month to make 10 and a half.
Wow.
Oh.
Did you see that video?
So anyway,
well, he was must have made that money while he was a Republican, huh?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he was for a while. What, 6 years he was a Republican after 2001?
That's just the thing. Half the Republicans are Democrats, but no Democrats are Republicans.
Moderates. But anyways,
do we want to get into the conversation about moderates, or do you want to just move on?
I want to actually read the topics. Read the article piece. So let me go for that, and then we'll bash more on Bloomberg. All right. So Everytown for gun safety, the gun control group bankrolled by billionaire presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg, is treading lightly with their benefactor. Okay. Everytown has distanced itself from Bloomberg's recently surfaced comments about his stop and frisk program he supervised as the New York City mayor. He said at a 2015 Aspen Institute appearance, 95% of your murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can't just take the description and Xerox it and pass it out to all the cops. They are male minorities, 15 to 25. And I've said before that this is these kind of comments that he made during his whole stop and frisk program would be the monumental thorn in his side, and it could cost him the election. But nobody believes me.
Nothing gets you in trouble in Washington, D.C. more than telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's telling the truth right there. But
there's also something about some like these statistics. The statistics aren't wrong, and these big major metropolitan area, they have such unique issues that don't transcend to other areas of the country. The metropolitan areas, yes, but they see the world differently than other people do. We don't understand what they go through, and they don't understand why we don't understand it. They have could you imagine being over in charge of a city government with that many people in it and that many murders and that many crimes. Could you imagine that? They get very skewed. So I don't think that necessarily qualifies him to run the country either.
No, just because you can be the mayor of New York doesn't mean you can be, or because you can be governor of New York does not necessarily mean that you're qualified to be president.
Exactly.
It just means that you were able to get enough of the vote to become governor or mayor. That's all that means. But again, a good governor, a good mayor is defined by how they govern and how they mayor. I guess would it be mayor or would it still be how they govern? Because a governor governs, but what about a mayor? Is mayor mayor?
They govern.
We'll say govern too, but you get the point that they're a good leader, okay? And if they do the right thing, they do what they're supposed to, what they're elected to, And I hate to say it, but while Bloomberg may have gotten, may have been elected mayor, he was not a good leader. That's my opinion. That's the opinion of my family that still live in New York, and that's the opinion of at least a couple other people in New York. I mean, just ask NY Outcast; he'll tell you.
He doesn't live in New York
City,
so he has a different view. He
has a different view, but he's got the view of being outside of New York City and seeing all the politics and the bull that had gone on when he was in office.
Well, he suffers from New York City's politics controlling the rest of the state.
Yes.
Yeah.
The rest of the state is a beautiful area, but New York City controls the rest of it.
Yeah. So
you could ask Blind Shooter what he thinks about New York City politics, but make sure you're prepared for some 4-letter words before you ask him.
We're trying to keep hit or miss PG-13ish, PG-ish these days because I want to be taken more seriously as a podcast or as a a roundtable discussion. So we're trying to keep it level here, guys. The article goes on to say Bloomberg added that's true in New York, that's true virtually in every city in America, and that's where the real crime is. You've got to get the guns out of the hands of people that are getting killed. Okay, why would you
going by statistics? Statistics aren't wrong. If that's what he's doing.
Why are you taking guns away from the people that are getting killed instead of keeping the guns in the hands of people that aren't getting killed?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Most of the people that are getting killed are bad guys. And they just ended up getting shot before they shot the other bad guy.
That's not really crime prevention taking the tool away. The crime prevention is getting to these people, just whatever demographic they are, when they're still younger and impressionable, and let's keep them on the road. Even when they get just a little bit off, let's get them back on it until they get so far off that there's no fixing.
And logic also dictates that if you take away the tool, that they're criminals, they break the law anyways, they're not going to follow the law, they'll just find another tool. It's been proven in countries that have tried to take guns away. I mean, look at Japan. It's really hard to get a firearm as a citizen in Japan, and, yet only the criminals have guns, and only the government has guns in Japan.
Exactly. It would just merely slow them down a little bit.
You'll slow them down, but they'll still get them. So you're not solving the problem. You're only harming the populace at the expense of trying to keep things, safe. I wish I had the little hands to do the whole safe thing, but I just have to do this.
Well, they could go the way of New York City and Baltimore and just let the criminals out of jail right away. You already seen the one guy dancing around talking about, you can't put me in jail, you can't stop me, because he's got, no bail anymore. And Baltimore, you could commit almost any crime in the world and they let you out the same day.
Yeah. So apparently that leak got Bloomberg all sorts of news coverage and not the kind he wanted. He's under fire in news media, and hashtag Bloomberg is racist is trending on Twitter for that one. It's also got every town sidestepping the guy who foots the bill. Everytown told media it is independent of Bloomberg. But that's hardly true because we all know that they're being funded by them. Money buys friends. Bloomberg founded Everytown. He sits on the board. He's the national chair. He started the group with $50 million in seed money and has since opened the spigot to an unending cash flow that the group admits still provides nearly a third of its $35 million annual operating budget. He combined his Moms Demand Action and failed mayors against illegal guns into a burgeoning gun control machine. Bloomberg's money paid for Everytown's $2.5 million money dump into Virginia to flip the General Assembly blue for gun control. The Commonwealth's politicians are mostly delivering on the down payment by passing an unprecedented gun control. He was only stymied when the State Senate Judiciary Committee voted to postpone HB 961 to 2021, which would have banned a wide swath of modern sporting rifles, shotguns, handguns, and criminalized possession of standard capacity magazines, as well as ban suppressors. All right? Bloomberg's hardly been covert about his goals. He spent more than $100 million for Democrats to take control of the House of Representatives in midterm elections. He spent $268 million of his 3 campaigns where he got New York City to change laws to give him a third term and made $23 million in campaign contributions to others. Last year, he pledged $500 million to unseat President Donald Trump. 2020 gun control buy. Less than a month ago, Everytown pledged $60 million of Bloomberg's cash, targeting congressional and gubernatorial races in Colorado, North Carolina, and Arizona, among other states. Moms Demand Action, a gun control companion organization, also founded and funded by Bloomberg, refused to say which portion of those funds would be directed by former New York City Mayor himself. Everytown pledged $250,000 each for gun control efforts in Pennsylvania, Minnesota, North Carolina, and Iowa. Bloomberg dropped a cool $10 million for gun control ad during the Super Bowl that drew on misleading statistics from Everytown to further his gun-grabbing agenda. He's promised to spend $1 billion to defeat President Donald Trump, and he's already spent almost $400 million on his effort to buy the Democratic nomination for president. Turning a back to that kind of money is turning out to be a tough decision for Everytown. Bloomberg's $62 billion fortune is just too much for Everytown to walk away from. So,
watch and see, though, that he's created this monster that will be able to exist without him. They'll turn their back.
Yeah. But again, it's this monster is not a good monster.
Oh gosh!
Plus, they got George Soros to fall back on. George Soros has got more money than Michael Bloomberg, and probably hates America more than Bloomberg does.
Well, considering he was a Nazi, yeah. And people say, "Oh, he wasn't a Nazi. He wasn't a Nazi." I'm sorry, but if you work for the Nazis, by association.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper says that's fake news. You can't say that, Night Strike. Well, that's being mean to a Jewish person.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's the same Jewish person who I quote said, "I have no problem doing what I did," when he was asked about stealing stuff from people who headed to the gas chambers.
Yeah. So we're not even going over Soros. Soros is a non-issue here. So,
how is he you? He's earning more money than Bloomberg does.
I don't want to talk about him. I have better things to do to talk about an old German dude. All right, so we're going over this. Senate Democrats' latest attempt at National Firearms Registry. Senator Bob Menendez, Democrat of New Jersey, has filed Senate Bill 3299, a bill to repeal certain impediments to the administration of the firearms laws. As of this writing, the bill's text is not available, but early indications are that this is a straight up firearm and gun owner registration move. Per Mendez's press release, the bill is aimed at. Let's see if I can actually find any text on it. Okay, there's no text on it yet. The bill is aimed at ending the prohibition on the ATF form releasing firearm trace data for use by cities, states, researchers, litigants, and members of the public. Yeah, no, they don't need that. Ending the requirement for the FBI to destroy all approved gun purchaser records within 24 hours of approval. Well, they shouldn't be doing that. Ending the provision that makes it extremely difficult for the ATF to retrieve firearms from prohibited persons who are mistakenly sold guns or from gun owners who become ineligible to possess guns. Well, I mean, you'd want the ATF to take care of those people, wouldn't you?
You want the ATF to stop prohibited persons from owning firearms. Yes, you do.
So, but why would you end the provision? I don't understand that one.
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense, but again, well, it's the government. Does the government make sense? No.
Usually
ending the prohibition on ATF requiring gun dealers to submit their inventories to law enforcement. Yep. Sorry, Sarge. I don't think they should,
Oh, don't even.
You don't need to know what they have in inventory, as a department. Okay.
Don't even.
Yeah. But yeah. Ending the prohibition on disclosure of data on multiple handgun sales, as well as gun sales information dealers are required to keep, that may be required to be reported to the U.S. Attorney General for determining the disposition of one or more firearms in the course of a bona fide criminal investigation. What the hell? All right.
He's bona fide. He's a suitor.
Yeah. All those records gathered, kept, and indexed amount to a complete registration system of firearms transferred through federal firearms licensees. Bear in mind that the House has already passed H.R. 8, the Bipartisan Background Checks Act of 2019, also known as Universal Background Checks. So, should these bills get traction in the Senate, this would eventually result in the registry of the vast majority of firearms sold since the Gun Control Act of 1968 went into effect. Notably, this would not track the estimated 3.5 million plus stolen firearms that are in circulation already, as well as the violence-enabling victim disarmers are only out to control honest people, and their legislation is deliberately ignoring actual criminals. A full analysis of Menendez's bill can't be done until the text is posted, but the press release makes this sound not just registration, but gun owner doxing, since the records would appear to be available to everyone. That, of course, include dispassionate academic researchers like Garen Wintemute, who's famously been tracking them for years. And that's the end of that article.
Now, I don't necessarily agree that they're purposely passing up on criminals just to focus on legal gun owners. Do I think that is the outcome? Yes. I don't think they're intentionally passing over criminals. I think it's a misguided attempt as trying to fix some of these situations. Now, it's misguided. It's not going to work. But I don't think they're intentionally just trying to harm the populace and not the criminals. I don't believe that for a second.
I argue that you're wrong. Because, follow me here for a second. I'm playing devil's advocate here. If you look at all the bills that Democrats say that they want to push through that is to prevent crime and fight crime, nearly every single time they add something, they try and add or put something forth, instead of actually attacking and actually doing something that, ingenuitive or new that attacks the problem and goes after criminals, they try and take it away from the civilians instead. Okay?
Did I say that wasn't the outcome? No, I didn't say that. That is the outcome. I think their intent, although misguided, is to try to prevent crime. It's not going to work. We're all agreeing on that. But I do think that is the intent. But that's not the way you do it. If not, let's just put out a memo that all crime is illegal and not do it. I could break it down that simple. You should just tell people not to commit crime.
It should be that simple. But apparently, you gotta have different laws for different crimes, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, I think the intent is noble but very, very naive.
I would say the intent is not only misguided, but they've taken the idea and the thought and gone in the opposite direction of which they were intending to.
Well, I think a lot of it gets caught up in the mix because Sarge might be right. Like when they sat down and did this, I don't think that they purposefully intended to hurt law-abiding citizens. But then when you look at back to New York, getting rid of cash bail, that's intended to hurt regular everyday citizens. The New Way Forward Act is intended to hurt the average everyday American citizen.
It is. So, all right. Let's go for something a little more upbeat. So, on February 16th, 2,500 gun rights supporters at this was February 15th, I think it was, but 2,500 gun rights supporters at the annual Arizona 2A rally attended the Arizona Second Amendment rally in Phoenix. The Arizona Republic reports that the annual rally saw its largest turnout on Saturday, with more than 2,500 people gathering to celebrate people's right to bear arms, according to Riders USA Vice President and event spokesman Mike Sullivan. There did not appear to be any counter-protesters at the rally. Before Saturday's rally, the event's largest turnout was about 500 people last year, said Sullivan. He explained that this year's increase is likely due to several gun control bills introduced at the Arizona state legislators this session, including ones that would have expanded background checks for firearm purchases and ban high-capacity magazines and so-called assault weapons. Highlighted below are some organizations and candidates dedicated to the right to keep and bear arms at the individual, city, county, state, and federal levels. All right, so we're going to go through them. One group was the Well-Armed Women, with 17 chapters in Arizona and approximately 375 chapters nationwide. The Well-Armed Women focuses on educating women about firearms, founded in 2012. This group builds camaraderie and facilities, learning not just firearms, but taser, first aid, and situational awareness. A victim of violence may be intimidated by an overwhelmingly male demographic. The Well-Armed Women bridges that gap, as one of the rally speakers addressed. Gun rights are women's rights and victims' rights. So let's go on. Who else? Arizona Second Amendment Sanctuary Movement. Okay. Following the sanctuary movement in Virginia, the nascent Arizona Second Amendment Sanctuary Movement is gathering steam. Apache, Mojave, Yavapai counties, Bullhead City, as well as at least one Native American nation have joined. The movement needs volunteers to help pass 2A resolutions in all Arizona counties and cities. And I'm going to make a statement here. For anyone that doesn't know, in Arizona, there are reservations, okay? And on the reservation, you have one. It would normally be a single tribe, governs that reservation. It's basically their own little mini country. Okay,
they are little sovereign nations.
Yes,
within the U.S.
And a majority of them and in the Southwest, and I'm saying this because I've actually looked up the laws, a majority of them aren't really firearm friendly. They take more so the Democrat style of things, where only their their law enforcement and their government has the guns, whereas the people, they don't really need guns. Is their stance? Some nations, as this one, at least one of them, has stated that we want to have guns. We want everyone to have guns. And that's a good thing. But I just needed to point this out because not everybody lives in the Southwest or near a Native American reservation. And sometimes you don't have that perspective being around there. I had a friend who lived on the reservation.
They're throughout the U.S., predominantly in the Southwest, but there are other ones.
There are other ones. I think there's one near Rock Hill, South Carolina. There's a small reservation up there. That's near the Charlotte area of North Carolina, right there at the border.
There's a large one in Western North Carolina, too.
Yeah. So, what else? American Citizens Defense League, AZCDL, they were there. If anyone doesn't know who they are, they were started in 1990. In the 1990s, gun rights were slowly eroding, and firearm preemptions were balkanized so that cities like Tucson were banning firearms from parks as well as instituting other carry restrictions. And Tucson is still kind of half and half anyways. But the ACTL was thus born as a self-defense is a human right group. Their current goals are mostly aimed at concealed carry expansion, but I expect them to expand with the emergent assault weapons ban threat. The AZCDL booth was packed throughout the rally, so that's a good thing. As election season heats up, candidates require nominations to appear on the ballot. These nominations are specific to the legislative and congressional districts at the state level and open to all Arizona registered voters at the federal level. Resources from AZCDL are helpful in making an educated choice for nomination, primary, which is August 4th, and general, November 3rd. Apparently, Daniel McCarthy, a Senate candidate, I think a U.S. Senate candidate for Arizona. He's running against the incumbent Martha McSally. He attended. Then there were some individuals that showed up. No one really. I don't see anybody of note. But it looked like it was a pretty big rally. So I'm glad that people attended, and I'm glad that it's gotten bigger.
They had Cheryl Todd there. They had Brandon.
Well, yeah, Cheryl Todd's there. Yeah, Cheryl Todd there.
I know most people probably don't know who Brandon Tatum is, but he's from Arizona.
2AF was there. Cause he was there. Second Amendment Foundation was there as well. Who else?
G-Webs was there.
Well, G-Webs is there. G-Webs is always there. No, I see the hands in the picture. He was totally there. But, Alan Gottlieb of the Second Amendment Foundation, he was there. He was speaker. So, there we go. All right. We got one more topic. I don't know if we got enough time to go over it. I don't really want to go over it, but I guess we're going to go over it and see where it goes. Apparently, the family of a murdered Chicago cop is suing Arms List. Okay? If at first you don't succeed, sue again. You may remember that Arms List was the target of a Brady campaign-backed lawsuit after a man shot up a Wisconsin beauty salon in 2012, killing his wife and two others. He bought the gun he used in the crime in a private transaction that had been advertised in Arms List. The long-running lawsuit was finally brought to a permanent end in November when the U.S. Supreme Court refused to hear the case. Lower courts had already struck the case down, ruling that Arms List is protected by provisions of Communications Decency Act because the online platform is functionally no different than any other selling or advertising. Now, as the Chicago Sun-Times reports, the widow of a Chicago police officer who was killed in the line of duty in 2018 has filed a similar suit against Arms List. And the Brady is behind this one too. Well, that's no surprise. The 9mm Glock pistol that four-time felon, we're not going to even say his name, allegedly used to kill the cop, we're not going to even say his name, in 2018, was sold by a Wisconsin man on armslist.com, one of the nation's largest online gun marketplaces. According to the federal lawsuit filed in Wednesday in Milwaukee by the cop's wife and the nonprofit gun control group Brady, the site negligently allowed sales of weapons without background checks, allowing the criminal to get his hands on the alleged murder weapon. What does the Brady bunch think they'll be any more successful with this excessive and lawfare quixotic attack on Arms List than they were the last time? Your guess is as good as ours. We can't know what would have happened if Arms List was not negligent, but we do know what did happen. Someone who should not have had a gun was able to get one, and a police commander is dead. Well, as you can imagine, the cost of fighting off the second attack by Brady Inc. will be substantial. They set up a website, the Arms List Legal Defense Fund, and are accepting donations to help them cover the considerable legal expenses. If you'd like to help, it says click here. I'll put the link out on the chat for everyone so you know what we're talking about. There we go.
Wait a second. Just to clarify, Arms List, I bought a gun from Arms List, and they sent it to my FFL, and then my FFL didn't do their job, or Arms List didn't do their, what's the problem here?
Did they say it was a private transaction?
Yes, they did.
So everybody followed the rules, right? Except for the bad guy who went and committed the crime.
Right, he didn't follow the rules.
Well, we don't know. Is Arms List at fault? No. Was the person able to buy a gun? Were they legally able to? There's the question.
Okay, now it's that clarified it for me, Sarge. Thank you. Now I understand what's going on.
Like I said, Arms List didn't do anything. That's why I've always said this is me personally. This is my rule. I don't think this should be the law, but this is my rule. If I don't know that person and or work with them, I am not going to do any private sales. I'm going to go to my buddy's shop. He can do the background check. I'll pay the difference just so I don't have to ever worry about being sued by that person doing something crazy later with that gun. Even if it's 5 years from now, someone's still going to come back after me eventually if I didn't take that one little step to reduce liability on myself. That's just a personal rule.
I don't sell a firearm to anyone who doesn't have a South Carolina concealed weapons permit.
Yeah, you can't look at someone and know whether they're eligible to.
If someone has a concealed weapons permit and they're a criminal, then it's on
Exactly.
South Carolina's law enforcement. Why did they issue him one in the first place?
Exactly, you're right.
So
you've done your due diligence.
And that's the thing too, like you were mentioning.
I don't like to have to do that, but considering what's going on in Charleston and South Carolina already, and what goes on in the country, I've had to just amend from just taking someone's driver's license, which usually that's no problem, to having to take a concealed weapons permit because I can't take the chance legally. I can't be.
Well, just think about it. If you're going to sell a firearm to somebody and you say, I need to see your ID, if they say no or get huffy, then you don't want they're a jerk. You don't want
to sell to that person. Yeah. Don't sell to that person.
I've done a ton of stuff on Arms List. I love it. I think it's great. The greatest capture on that one is, hey, meet me at a police station. That's the factor right there. They don't want to meet at a police station. They're no good. Also, I'll ask for the CPL and the ID.
Right. Jason jumped in here, while we were having the chat. What's going on, Jason?
Not too much. Thought I'd stop by and see what you're talking about. Hello,
Okay.
everybody.
Hey, what's up, Jason?
So, that's just my take on it. But guys, if you can, go and help Arms List out. So I'll send a few dollars their way too. But again,
help them out. We need somewhere to be able to find guns so we can buy them.
yeah. So we legal citizens can buy them.
Yes.
Though Sarge, even if all the ban bills get put in place, you're exempt because you're law enforcement.
Do what now? What?
Yeah, all the anti bills. It's always for the individual civilian. It's never for law enforcement. So you're exempt from all of them because you're law enforcement.
You realize this is just a job, and people change jobs. You just never know.
Right. But again, right now you're exempt.
To a degree.
But
Only with, as far as like, are you talking about carrying or purchasing or anything like that?
yeah, carrying and purchasing, possession.
No, not at all. No, like a HR 218 that allows you to carry anywhere in the country. The Homeland Security Act is only for your duty or off-duty weapon that you qualify with every year. It doesn't apply to everything I own, not in the least.
Oh my!
So there is plenty of rules that still have to be followed. Plenty. Yeah, I am not exempt, like carte blanche across the board.
Netflutter said that things get smoothed over between Jaeger and roll call. No, don't ask.
Too late. Already asked.
Well, the answer is no. We're moving on. I think we better just wrap it up and end. I think we had a good, productive conversation. Guys, if you guys have any final thoughts on any topics we talked about tonight, please speak up. Let us know. Not only the people in the chat here, but anybody out there on the YouTube side.
Man, I'd say Virginians, man, you guys got a chance at some redemption here. So maybe get organized and get everybody on both sides, Republican, Democrat, Independents, to say, look, we have an opportunity now to prevent this from, it's been shelved, it's been tabled or whatever, but you got an opportunity to really get it together and prevent something like that from ever popping up again.
Right.
So I hate to say it, but what gave me some chills was watching those people be escorted out of that town hall by the security or whatever. That really had a feel of some tyranny there,
Okay.
And I would not want that in my backyard. I would not want that to happen in my Capitol building.
Glock 23
part of it gave you chills.
It's just the fact that, okay, here's the vote, leave, goodbye. Got these dudes rolling up on them and stuff.
Right.
And it's like these people are sitting there. They want to ask questions. They're concerned, but nope, leave. Go there. You can be arrested. Bye.
Duke Liberty had to leave, so it's sad to see him go, but hey, he had to go. Glock 23 out there says at Night Strike, Oregon State Senate passed a confiscation bill in the Senate. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Mad Sexy says hello. Hello, Mad Sexy. How you doing? It says the volume is messed up. I don't know why the volume would be messed up. Is my volume not sounding right, guys?
No, it's been sounding fine.
That's fine.
You good?
Nah,
Your volume's been fine all night.
He is yelling. That's the way he talks.
I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. So
He likes to project. Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we'll run through the room. Again, I want everyone to, just keep on your toes. Keep, letting your senators, your representatives know that you're not going to stand for any anti-gun bills or any anti-gun legislation, and you want them to protect your right to keep and bear arms. Other than that, let's see. Was it? Nope, that's the wrong one. There it is. So, go there. And other than that, Travis?
Yeah, just real quick, guys. I did not know this until later on this evening, but Mr. Holster had passed away.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't know if we'd mentioned that during the show at all, and a lot of us in the gun community know this already, but there's still support that we can give the family. If you go over to Crazy Scotsman's channel over there on YouTube, there's information, and there is still a fund drive going on for the family over there. And if you get a chance, if you haven't done so, go subscribe to Mr. Holster's channel. He's one of the earlier channels I started watching. Really has a lot of great content. Stand-up guy, amazing person. And I don't know, but I hope his content is preserved over on Gunstreamer. I've only watched him on YouTube, but if it is, it'd be nice to get his catalog over on Gunstreamer somehow, so we don't lose his content. Really great guy. So that's all I got to say.
Right, absolutely. Jason, you got anything? Any final plugs? Any final thoughts?
No, not really. Just echo what Travis said. Keep Mr. Holster's family in your thoughts, and if you can do something, I'm sure the family appreciate it. And thanks to everybody that stopped by for your show.
Absolutely. David, Kingpin, final thoughts.
Thanks for having me. Really good conversation tonight, and appreciate it. And if you want to check the link I just put in the YouTube chat, that'll take you to Scotsman's last video where he makes the announcement of the passing of Mr. Holster. And then you can go into Scotsman's channel from there and find the GoFundMe link. It's Mr. Holster at GoFundMe. And then you can find all the links and all the information for all the firearms giveaways that they're doing. They're $10 entries, and there's a Dylan Press and tons of other stuff in the original GoFundMe, whatever you call it, fundraiser. And then he's got the Flash fundraiser going on now for the 7.62x39, another $10 entry. So follow that link, and Scotsman's going to have all the information for you. Plus, remember Scotsman. When anybody's ever in trouble, Scotsman's always the first one there. So, keep him in your mind too, because he was really close to Mr. Holster.
Right. All right. Sarge, final outro.
Thank you for the invite. Go check out my latest video. I like I said, we had a good productive conversation, and yes, go over there and support Mr. Holster's family. Every little bit helps. Don't think that what you're doing doesn't help. It does.
So go check all that out. Check Sarge out. Go to GunTube.org. That's why the finger is up there. It says visit GunTube.org. Come on. All right. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week. I might do a Friday night strike this week. I might not. It depends on how busy things get. So I'm just I'm preparing everyone for the worst. So anyways, we'll see you guys next week. So thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss.
Adios, Felicia. Adios.
Shut up, you friend.
See you on the range.
Te amo.
Te amo.
I still don't have a tagline.
Hasta la vista, Felicia.